everyone and welcome to Akshata's recipes. Today's recipe is metkut bhaat. So basically I'm going to be showing you how to make some metkut. Now metkut is basically roasted dals and a few other ingredients which are easily available in our pantry or our kitchen, and we're going to be making some mau bhaat. Now you can have this mau bhaat all by itself, but when you add this metkut to it, it just adds a different taste and flavor, and it's just amazing. And this metkut can also be stored in a cool dry place. You don't have to refrigerate it, and it has a long shelf life of at least 6 months, provided you keep it in a dry place, as well as the bottle should be nice and clean and dry and preferably glass. And this metkut bhaat is generally given to people who are a little bit unwell because it's a little bit light on the tummy, light on the palate, but that doesn't stop us from having this, anytime. I mean, me for one, I just love metkut bhaat. You just take some lovely mau bhaat when it's nice and hot, and then you just put this metkut, and then you put a nice big smear of a nice big spoonful of homemade ghee or clarified butter, and a big dollop of chilled yogurt. Mix everything together, a little pickle, a little papad on the side, and your meal is done. It's really delicious. So I hope you enjoy these recipes, and if you do, then don't forget to give them some big thumbs ups, and that way I come to know that you like my recipes, you like Akshata's recipes. And for those of you who haven't hit the red subscribe button yet, guys, hit the red subscribe button somewhere here down on the screen and become a part of Akshata's recipes. And once you have subscribed, don't forget to ring the bell, because that way whenever I put up a video on my channel, you'll get a message that Akshata's put up a new recipe or a vlog. And guys, I have loads and loads of videos coming up, so stay tuned to Akshata's recipes. It's a fun place to be. So let's head on to my kitchen, guys, and let's make this amazing metkut bhaat. Here I have taken 1/4 cup of poppy seeds or khuskhus and half a cup of milk. So in a cup or in a bowl, I'm going to add this poppy seeds or khuskhus, and I'm going to also add the milk, and we are going to stir it well together, and we're going to soak this for 2 hours. So just give it a nice stir and ensure that all of the poppy seeds or the khuskhus is immersed in the milk. Now this is very important. And then we're going to cover and keep this aside for 2 hours. Now I'm going to be using 100 grams of ginger, which I've washed well and peeled. Now don't throw away the peel, you can add it to your tea when you're boiling your tea. And then I'm going to just make this into a ginger paste by cutting it into small cubes and then using it in my mixer jar. Now after 2 hours, our poppy seeds are fluffed up a bit, so we're going to add it to the mixer jar and we're going to grind this to a very nice paste like this. Now in a pan, I've taken half a cup of ghee or clarified butter. Once our ghee is nice and hot, we're going to add the ground ginger paste. Just fry it a bit in the ghee for about half a minute till you get the aroma of the ginger on a low to medium flame. And then we're going to add this poppy seeds or this khuskhus paste that we made along with the milk. Give the two a nice mix. Now I'm going to be adding 2 cups of sugar. You can adjust the sugar as per your choice. You can reduce it to 1.5 cup. But 2 cups, gives it the perfect taste. Now mix all of this well together. And now we're also going to add 1 cup of milk. So these are all the ingredients. We're done with the ingredients. We don't need to add anything more. Now all you need to do is just stir this mixture on a medium to high flame, continuously stirring. Now for some of the tips, first of all, use a long wooden ladle or a long wooden spoon like this, because you have to stir this for at least 15 minutes on a medium to high flame. So if you use a steel spoon or any other spoon, it heats up very fast. But if you use a spatula like this with a very long handle, you don't feel the heat at all. The second tip is that use a heavy bottomed pan, that way the pan will not move around. And after 15 to 20 minutes, you'll see that everything comes together like this and starts to move together like one mass. So like this, it looks exactly like this. Now we're going to do the water test. So I've switched off the flame because we don't want to harden this too much. So I've just taken about 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to take about half a teaspoon of the mixture. Let it cool down for about half a minute. Otherwise, it's very hot. So let it cool for a minute. And after a minute, you're just going to check whether you're getting the toffee consistency. So we'll just take it off the spoon. And if you're able to form a soft toffee or a ball like this easily, that means your the toffee is ready. So now all you have to do is transfer this to a plate or a tray. Like here, I have just greased my tray with some ghee, and I put a little bit of butter paper because it becomes easier to demold it. And I'm just going to transfer this mixture when it's very hot itself to the grease tray. Now you can also take a plain thali, just grease it with some, ghee or clarified butter and just add it over there. And then now you have to flatten this up on the top. So you can use a vati, you can use a heavy kind of a, object where you can just smoothen it out. I'm just using my spatula. I don't want it to be extra smooth. I want it to have a little bit of a rough edge on the top like the normal vadis have. That is the, khuskhus Vadya or the Naralachya Vadya. They have a little bit of a rough edge on the top. They're not extra smooth. And while it's hot itself, just cut them into, whatever shape you require, however big or small you want to make the vadis or the vadyas. And now keep it aside for 30 minutes till it completely sets. You can keep it for a longer period also. And now all you have to do is just demold it. And then I'm just going to run it over again with a nice sharp knife. And then it comes out very, very easily. Like this.
And you have your lovely ginger and poppy seeds toffee or your khuskhus vadya or vadya, and it's really very delicious. And you can store this in an airtight container for almost a month or two. You can refrigerate it if you want also, but I like to keep it in a glass container and have it whenever you feel like having it. It's very healthy also, and it's very delicious. So I hope you give this recipe a try and let me know in the comments section how you like this, and I'll catch you in my next video soon. So for these ginger lemon cough drops, I've taken 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of water, 1.5 teaspoon of sungta powder or ginger powder. You can also use freshly grated ginger. 1.5 teaspoon of honey, 1.5 teaspoon of lemon juice, 4 cloves that I've just powdered in my mortar and pestle, and a little bit of powdered sugar for dusting. Now I'm going to take my pan. To that I'm going to add the sugar. I'm going to add the water. I'm going to mix the two together really well. Then I'm going to add the sungta powder or the dry ginger powder, cloves, and like I said, you can use freshly grated ginger also. Mix everything really nicely, and then I'm going to add the honey as well as the lemon juice. Then I'm going to transfer this pot onto my gas top, and on a low heat, I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes, stirring in between. So after 10 minutes, you'll get this very thick syrup, like a candy syrup. Now what I'm going to do to test it is just take about a 1/4 of a teaspoon in a cup of water, and if you are able to form a soft ball like this, that means your mixture is ready. You can turn off the heat. Now I've taken a silicone sheet like this, and I'm just going to pour a teaspoonful of this. It's okay if the shape doesn't get retained, but if you're able to make a nice drop, then it's great. And I've also taken a baking sheet, but I found that the baking sheet, the drops tend to stick to the baking sheet or the butter paper. So if you have a silicone sheet at home, it's great. And set it for about 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes you're just going to dust some powdered sugar. This helps to loosen up the drops or the candy, and then you can just keep it as a whole, or you can break it up into smaller pieces, because that way it's easier to eat them rather than have big circles like that. You can also pour this into molds, silicone molds, so that you get individual lozenges, and then just dust the like I said, I found that the baking paper, it did tend to stick, so I had to take off the paper. It was a little bit cumbersome, so the silicone sheet was much easier to work with, or any plastic sheet. And then I'm just going to transfer it to a glass container, dust a little bit of powdered sugar so that you can get individual pieces. And that's it, friends. And you can just pop this have this whenever you feel like. And it's got honey, it's got ginger powder. So guys, let's start with today's egg flip recipe, a Goan traditional recipe. So I'm going to be using 2 egg yolks. We're not going to be using the egg whites for this recipe. You can make an omelette with that. Then I'm going to be using 5 tablespoons of sugar, regular sugar. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of brandy. You can use any brand. And I'm going to use half a cup of hot black coffee. So now I'm going to just get the egg whites out of the way, because we're not going to use that. I'm just going to gently whisk the eggs till they come together, both the yolks like this. Now I'm going to add the sugar to the egg yolks. Now the most important part is beating the eggs and the sugar. So for 10 to 15 minutes. Now it's a bright yellow color. It's going to then change to a pale yellow color, and then finally it's going to change to a white color, and the consistency also is going to change. It's going to be nice and thick, almost like a white cream consistency, like a icing consistency, which has peaks. So you have to beat this, and that's the most important part of this recipe. So you can either do it with a fork like this and get a good arm workout, or you can go with an electric beater. That will make your work faster. but beating this egg and the sugar is really well, very really important. Now this is a recipe which has been handed down, in my family, from my great grandmother to my grandmother, and my grandmother to my dad, and my dad to me, and I'm going to hand it over to my hubby and kids. So this is a real good remedy if you have a real bad cold. I remember as a kid, I used to have, every winter, at least once I used to have this really bad cold, and my dad used to give this to me. So the way you're supposed to have it is, you'll see it in the recipe, but like once you pour in the hot coffee, you've got to drink it instantly, and you have to have this after brushing your teeth. You have to have it on an empty stomach. The minute you get up and brush your teeth, you're supposed to have this, and you're supposed to have it thrice in a week, in the 3 days immediately in sequence. So you got to make this like fresh every time, every for those 3 days. And I'm telling you guys, on the fourth day, you'll not even remember that you had such a bad cold. This is my like first hand experience, and I used to love this, and I used to look forward to my dad making this. And he used to put in so much of love and give it to me and make me, come on, have it immediately, baba, immediately. So that's something that has stayed with me. So whenever I have a bad cold, or my kids or my hubby has a bad cold, I give them this. So now you can see the consistency has completely changed. It now looks like a thick cream. So beat it really well, and you'll get this nice big thick consistency like this. So that you will not see any yellow of the egg yolk anymore. And now we're going to add the other ingredients, the other two ingredients. Now for this, your coffee has to be piping hot. It has to literally, like be like this. You can see the the thing coming out of the coffee really being piping hot. Now you're going to add the brandy to this egg and sugar mixture, and you're going to stir it in really well. Now we all know that brandy also is a good remedy for a bad cold, but had like this with this egg flip, it's really amazing. And now you're just going to pour your hot coffee in, and you are going to stir it in, and you're going to have it like instantly. I remember my dad used to like put it into the coffee and like, Baba, have it immediately, don't wait for it to get even a little bit change the temperature. So that's it, guys. This is a traditional recipe, a Goan recipe, and many of you might be even familiar with this. Your grandmoms or your nanas or your moms must have given you this. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. So I hope you like this recipe. Thanks for watching. Bye.